Class 10 students, you have already got a lesson on the Merchant of Venice Act 3 Scene 2. You have done the beginning of the scene. The lesson has been sent to you in writing. Now in this class, we will continue from where you have done, till from where you have done. So the recapitulation, let us do once. We know in Act 3 Scene 2, Bassanio has come to Belmont to make the choice of caskets to marry Portia. That was the condition, precondition laid down by Portia's father, that if anybody wants to marry Portia, they have to make a choice of caskets. If they fail in the selection of the correct casket, they will promise not to marry anybody else again, and they will leave Belmont without any further word. So Bassanio has now come to make his choice. Before that, we have seen the Prince of Morocco and the Prince of Aragon making their choice. It is all done. So you have done till this much. Bassanio has come. Portia wants him to wait a little because Portia doesn't want him to make the wrong choice and leave the place. So we have seen all that much. Now we will do from line number 63. That is the song. You see, now when Bassanio goes to make the choice of his caskets, music is played, okay, and Portia sings a song. Now there is a certain purpose solved by this song being introduced in the scene. First of all, you remember, students, right from the beginning of the play, the casket story is an important episode in the play, okay, the casket story. That's one of the main episodes of the play. The bond story was one important incident. Another important event in the play is the casket story. And this scene is actually the climax of the casket story. Choice made by Prince of Morocco, choice made by Prince of Aragon. So it was mounting up. The casket story was mounting. Now we have reached the climax of that casket story. Imagine you don't know anything about the story of the play. You are just watching the play for the first time. You know, you are also very eager to know whether Bassanio will make the right choice or not. Now if as audience, as readers, you are worried, you can imagine the amount of worry that is there among the characters present there. Bassanio's friends, Portia herself, Nerissa with her. We will come to know that why Nerissa will be extra tense, because Nerissa also has an interest depending on the casket. So there's a lot of things happening. So you see when the music is played, you know, it soothes the mind a little. You know, music is being played, so it adds to a kind of a relaxation when you listen to the music. Second thing, what happens is, you know, it adds to the romanticism. It's a romantic situation. The young lovers are there, standing there. We can understand from their talks. The first time, remember, when Portia heard that Bassanio has come, the young Venetian has come, Portia was so excited. Bassanio has already revealed his love for Portia to Antonio. So, you know, they are in love with each other, but nothing good will turn out if Bassanio fails in making the correct choice of the caskets. And we have seen Bassanio is a spendthrift. He loves to borrow money and spend a lot. So we are also worried whether Bassanio will go for the right casket or whether Bassanio will go by the show. So there's so much of tension, but there's so much of romanticism also there. You see, the song adds to the romantic element of the story. So you see, you are getting that romantic mood. Your mind is getting soothed by the song. At the same time, listen to the words of the song, and you will see there is another dramatic significance in the song. What does Portia say? Music is being played. Bassanio is pondering over the caskets. We know there are writings on the caskets. We have seen it in Act 2, Scene 7. Remember when Morocco was making his choice? That was the first time we have seen the caskets. The audience sees the casket for the first time. And Morocco reads the writings on top of all the caskets. The golden casket says, who chooseth me shall get what many men desire. The silver casket says, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. And the leaden casket says, one who chooses me must hazard all he had. So these are the writings. So Bassanio is also going over, with those writings. And during that time, Portia sings this song. Tell me where is fancy bred, or in the heart, or in the head. How begot, how nourished, reply, reply. You see, she's singing to herself, and she's singing about fancy. Now what is fancy? Fancy is outward look here. Okay? Outward show, outward look. Outward look that attracts. Okay? That attracts. So there's a kind of attraction that is involved. That is fancy. So you see, what were you attracted by? Where is fancy bred? What would we get attracted by? What would we be drawn towards? What attracts us? So where is fancy bred? Bred means where is it grown? Where is it nourished? Where does it originate? Okay? Where does it originate? Where does fancy originate? Our liking for something, where does it begin? Or in the heart or in the head? You think, students, when you like something, with what do you like it? Do you like it with your head, that is your wisdom, your reasoning power, or with your heart, emotion? I like something, I love somebody, I like a friend. Do you judge with your head when you are liking a friend as your best friend? Oh, that friend is, she's very intelligent. Okay, I can get this benefit out of her. Okay, she will help me in this respect. Do you see in that light, or you just like a person, because that person looks attractive, that person can speak very well, that person has consoled you when you are in sorrow, something like that. So Portia is asking, where is it bred? In the mind, in the heart, or in the head? Heart is with emotion, head is with reasoning. How begot, how nourished? How did it begin? Begot is the beginning, the birth. Yes, begetting is the source. Okay, what is the source of fancy? What is the source of liking something? How begot? How nourished? Nourished is nurturing. Something grows, then you have to nurture it, like a plant. The seed is there, and then you have to nurture the seed. You have to let it grow, then only it will grow into a bigger shape. So when you like something, you nourish it. With what do you do it? Reply, reply. She's telling herself actually, reply, reply. Is it in the heart or in the head? It is engendered in the eyes. It is fancy. Fancy is engendered in the eyes. It begins with the look. You see, whatever is attractive to the eyes, we get drawn towards it. So we start liking that. So anything that attracts the eyes actually is lovable to us first. We don't judge with our head then. So it is engendered in the eyes. With gazing fed and fancy dies in the cradle where it lies. And then when you're gazing and gazing, you're looking something, it's so beautiful, you're going on looking at it and looking at it and looking at it and looking at it. And then a time comes when you realize, okay fine, I've had enough, I don't want anything more. So you see that stage is called a stage of satiety. Satiety is satisfaction to such an extent that you don't want to go any more beyond it. Some of you may be very fond of eating something. Some of you may be fond of eating a chicken pizza, or maybe some of you, the boys especially, fond of eating mutton. Okay. Now every day, for every meal, you are given a bowl full of mutton, nicely prepared. How much will you like it? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, for every meal, one day you'll say enough of it. You will feel reluctant to even look at it. So that is the stage of satiety. It's like that. You love to look at something. You're very fond of that. You're only thinking about it. And then you go on having it and having it and having it and looking at it. And then, after looking at it for a long time, it is fed up. It is fed. Fed means satisfied to the level of satiety. So it is fed. You see, that is why the term comes from fed up. Fed up means had so much of it that you cannot tolerate anymore. So fancy, gazing fed and fancy dies in the cradle where it lies. Where it began, it ends there only. Let us all ring fancy's knell. I'll begin at ding dong bell, and the whole chorus joins in ding dong bell. Knell. Knell is the final bell. You must have read it somewhere. This word. You must have come across this word. The final bell, the last bell. You see, when people die, the church bell that rings, that is called knell, death bell. Okay? So she's saying that I am going to ring the knell of fancy. I don't want people to get attracted by mere look, mere outward look. So I will ring fancy's knell. So in the song, she is actually saying that fancy originates, liking originates in the eyes. It does not come from the head. Nothing to do with reasoning power. But remember, once we love to look at something, we continue looking at it, and then when we have had enough of it, it dies. So let us ring the knell of fancy. That means what is she trying to do through a song? You see, so the song actually is not merely a song, an additional thing in the play which is only enlarging your syllabus. It's not that like that. There is a purpose. There is a subtle hint maybe. You see, indirectly to Bassanio, don't get attracted by outward show. Because we, the audience, know, Portia also knows, that the first two caskets, the caskets which are very attractive, the golden and the silver one, they don't have Portia's portrait. But those are the ones who are very attractive. Their writing is also attractive, what many men desire, as much as you deserve. Remember, Aragon got carried away by that. Morocco got carried away by the look. So she's trying to give a hint to Bassanio, don't get carried away by the outward show. So let us bring fancies then. Don't get carried away by outward show, outward look. Okay? And Bassanio takes the hint also. So may the outward shows belittle themselves. Bassanio listens to the song. Bassanio has been pondering over the caskets and says, okay, let us not get drawn by the outward attraction. Let us not get drawn by the outward show. The world is still deceived with ornament. Yes, it is true that the world gets attracted by ornament. Okay, the world is drawn by ornament. But when the world is drawn by ornament, the world also gets deceived by ornament. What is deceived? Deceived means to be cheated. Okay? Cheated. So if you get drawn by outward show, you will be cheated also. That is also true. And to prove his point, he cites some examples. He says, in law, what feels so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice obscures the show of evil. You see, sometimes in law, we see the lawyer, arguing for a criminal, says eloquent speech, goes on saying, citing examples, saying long speech, talking on behalf of the criminal standing with a very pitiable look. With eloquent speech, he's trying to hide corruption, he's trying to hide sin. But his speech is so eloquent that the judge seated there may get drawn by the eloquent speech, okay, by the examples that he cites. In religion, what damned error, but some sober brow will bless it and approve it with a text, hiding the grossness with fair ornaments. Now he's talking about religion. Damned error, damned means cursed. Cursed error, error is wrong. Okay? All the wrongs that people do are often covered by citing religious scriptures. How many times you all say, by God I'm saying, I'm swearing by God. You go on saying all these things? I swear, my mother promised. Good for nothing you were drawing your mother unnecessarily. She is not there in the picture. But just to convince your parents. And in ancient days, people did not take oath in such a way. What? Why oath? Oath is what? You are swearing by somebody. That means you are not a trustworthy person. People don't trust you by your word of mouth. So you are swearing by somebody else's name to prove to the world that yes, you are right. So we are citing by God. Believe me, I am swearing by God that yes, I am right. So when do you need to swear by God? The moment you need to swear, that means people are not trusting you for your words. That means you are not a trustworthy person. So you are swearing by God. So sometimes we do get drawn when people swear by the name, in the name of God, in the name of their parents. So that is what he's saying. That damned error, wrongs are often hidden by an outward good look. A very holy look a person carries and goes to the temple, worships God. Oh my God, I'm praying. And inside he is actually thinking about the ill of others, or he has already harmed somebody. So he's talking about that. With the religious text, citing a religious example, hides the grossness with fair ornament, with fair decoration, hiding the grossness. Grossness means the ugliness, the ugly side of it, or the bad thing. Okay, the ugliness. Okay, the grossness is ugliness. Okay, so hides the ugliness of the thing with fair ornament. There is no vice so simple, but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. Often, all vice means evil. All evil has an outward show of virtue, as a covering of virtue. Inside there is vice. Remember, they were criticizing Shylock, goodly apple rotten at the heart, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. So all these are those examples, okay? Some mark of virtue on his outward parts. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand, wear yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars. Two mythological references given here. One is of Hercules, another is of Mars. Mars is the god of war. In Greek mythology, he is the god of war. Hercules was believed to be a very strong man. He was the strongest of man on earth, Hercules. Now, Bassanio says, you see, people who are cowards and their heart is as false as stairs of sand. When you stand on stairs of sand, you can create a stair of sand. You place sand after sand. But when you just put your weight on it, it will crumble down. Similarly, there are many people who outwardly they show that they are very brave, but actually they are cowards and you cannot rely on their bravery. They sport a look of a brave person. You know, they in their fashion they wear a beard like Hercules' beard. You know, people see the statues of ancient gods and goddesses, Hercules' statue wearing a beard, Mars' statue wearing a beard. So some people keep beard like that. And they think that, well, I'm looking like brave Hercules or brave Mars. Hercules was a very strong man. There's so many stories related to Hercules. You can go through those stories. You know, his king was always afraid that he will take away power because he was such a brave man. So Hercules was sent on different errands and difficult errands so that he is not able to come back. But he was always successful because of his bravery. Hercules was a very strong and brave man. So he's saying many people put on a beard like Hercules or like Mars, but actually they have nothing, not an iota of bravery in them. Who, inward search, have livers white as milk. But if you search their body, I mean if you examine them, you will find their livers are as white as milk. Livers white, Elizabethans believe that brave people have red liver. You know, if the liver is red, that means that person is very brave. Cowardly people will have whitish liver. So that is an Elizabethan belief. So you have reference to mythology, you have reference to the Elizabethan belief also. And these assume but valor's excrement to gender them without it. And these people have the outward show of valor. Valor is courage. So they have the outward show of valor, outward show of courage, so that people don't doubt their bravery. So we see they are outwardly, they are very brave. You know, wearing a beard like Hercules or like Mars, citing stories of bravery, but actually they are cowardly. Look on beauty. First he talks about bravery, now he is talking about beauty. So one quality for men, the other quality for the women. And you shall see it is purchased by the weight. Beauty, it can also be bought out of money by weight. How? You see the cosmetics, the women put on cosmetics to look beautiful. What are cosmetics? Not the natural beauty. They are bought with money so that they can be put and the woman will look beautiful. And you shall see it is purchased by weight, which therein works a miracle in nature. And all those things which are bought by money, they work a miracle in nature. What is that nature? Nature is the natural beauty of the woman. Naturally, the woman looks like something, but she puts on a lot of makeup and she looks different. Okay, works a miracle on nature, making them lightest that wear most of it. But at the same time, Bassanio also says women who have any warmth, any inner quality within, they don't need to put too much of makeup. Okay, people who put on too much of makeup, they appear to be light. Lighter can be used in two senses. Once the complexion becomes lighter, not darker, no longer remain dark. And in the second sense, the woman becomes lighter. That means if you see a woman putting on too much of makeup, you can make out that well, she has put on too much of makeup, and you know that her beauty, she doesn't possess true beauty, and she doesn't have the courage also to be what she is. She tries to put on something artificial. So that makes her lighter. In the worth, in the value, she becomes lighter. Okay? So are those crisp, snaky, golden locks which make such wanton gambols of the wind upon supposed fairness, often known to be the dowry of a second head. He takes the example of hair. Often we see women with nice curly golden hair, but actually that is the wig she has bought out of money. And those curly hairs, those golden curls, wind is playing with those curls and she's looking so beautiful. But actually, she's wearing a wig, okay? And the wig is made out of hair of another woman who really had it. When you cut off your hair, those hair is sold in the market, and out of your hair, wigs are made. Okay? So, somebody who really had that hair sold it off, and somebody else made a wig out of it and wore it. Okay? So, artificial hair, wanton gambols with the wind upon supposed fairness. Fairness is good looks. Often known to be the dowry of a second head. Actually, that hair belongs to somebody else, a second head. The skull that bred them in the sepulchre. Okay? The skull, the head, which actually bred them, the hair which grew in a different head. Now that person is dead and lying in the tomb, but that hair is utilized by somebody else. Thus, ornament is but the gilded shore to a home stage in the sea. So decoration or ornament is like a gilded shore, a shore paved in gold, but beyond that shore is a sea which is very dangerous. Okay? The beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty. It is like a beautiful scarf which hides the darkish complexion of Indian women. You know, see, Shakespeare was an Englishman, so again that European supremacy, because Europeans, they think beauty is fair-skinned. In the present scenario, in the present context, we know in the present world, many cosmetics is also taking away the name, the word fair from their advertisement, because we no longer go into such discrimination, but when the play was written, it was like that. So, a beautiful scarf on the head of an Indian woman, because Indian women generally are believed to have a darkish complexion, okay, hiding an Indian beauty. In a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. So what is beauty? It is the seeming truth. Seeming means appears, not the truth actually. So seeming means appears. Okay? It appears to be true, but it is not true. Seeming true. Puts on, cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. So what is beauty? Beauty apparently is something that times put on. You know, cunning times, clever times put on to entrap. Entrap means to trap the wisest of people, to cheat them. The wisest of people can also get drawn by beauty and get cheated. Therefore, thy body gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee. So he rejects the golden casket, saying, I will not have you gold, because you are like seeming beauty to entrap even the wisest. So I am not going to be attracted by you. And then again he makes a reference to mythological story of Midas. Many of you must have read the story of Midas. Midas was very fond of gold and he wanted a boon, a blessing, that everything that he touches must be turned into gold. So what happened, you know? Midas got that blessing, so whatever he was touching turned into gold. Ultimately his daughter turned into gold. Then he was hungry, he ordered for food, and when he was touching the food was turning into gold. So he could not eat because it was hard metal. So he said, hard food for Midas, I will have none of thee. None of thee, thou pale and common drudge twin man and man. And he rejects the silver now. And what does he call silver? Common drudge between man and man. What is this common drudge? Coin. You know, coin was made out of silver. And what is coin? Coin is a mode of exchange between man and man. You buy something, you give coin. So, something which you can exchange very easily is actually a very base thing, very low thing, you know. Today it is in your hand, tomorrow you have to give it to somebody. So it does not belong to any one person. So it's a common drudge, common means of exchange between man and man. I will have none of thee. Thou meager lead, meager is ordinary lead, which rather threatenest than dost promised onward. I'll have you lead, because the inscription written on you rather threatens. What does the little casket say? You remember? One who chooseth me must give and hazard all he has. Must give and take the risk of everything that he has. What is Bassanio going to do? He's going to marry Portia. So when you are any relationship for that matter, not only in marriage, as a daughter, as a son, as a mother, as a friend, when you are promising a relationship with someone, then you must promise to give away everything that you have. Then only that shows love for that person. So the leaden casket said, one must give and hazard all he has. So that is what he is saying. You threaten rather than promise. Thy paleness moves me more than eloquence. All those bright golden thing does not move me. What moves me, what attracts me is your pale color, your paleness. And here choose I, joy be the consequence. I am choosing my casket here. Let joy be the consequence. I don't know what I have here, but I make my choice. But you see, Portia knows which is the correct casket. Even if she had not known before, she had seen Moropo choosing the wrong one, she had seen Aragon choosing the wrong one. So, you know, when she sees Bassanio going in front of the leaden casket, she's elated, she's very excited, you know. But she's telling herself, she's speaking aside. Aside is a solemnity, you know, she's speaking to herself. Only the audience can hear her. You have to imagine Bassanio and Edison, nobody can hear her. It's her mind speaking up. She's saying how all the other passions fleet to hear as doubtful thoughts and rash embrace despair. And shuddering fear and green-eyed jealousy. All these negative thoughts gradually vanish. What are those? Doubtful thoughts. She was having doubt whether Bassanio would be choosing the right casket or not. Rash embrace despair. Rash embrace means in a hurry. Okay? Rash is in a hurry. So rash embrace means Rash is hurry. And embrace means accepted. Embraced. Embraced is what you have accepted or hugged. You know, accepted. So rash, embrace, despair. Despair means hopelessness. So, you know, when you are too fond of something, the first thought that comes to your mind is a negative thought. Maybe he will not succeed. That is the fear in your mind. So rash, embrace, despair. That is despair, sad thought. And shuddering fear. I was afraid also whether Basani will be choosing the right casket or not. So that shuddering fear and green-eyed jealousy. Here jealousy is doubt. Okay. So she had doubt whether Basani will be making the right choice. She was afraid whether Basani will be making the right choice. These are all negative feelings, you know. She's saying all these things are vanishing to here now. Oh, love be moderate. She's telling her mind, please check yourself. Love in my soul. Please check yourself. Allay thy ecstasy. Reduce your joy, your overwhelming joy. Reduce it. Allay is reduce. In measure reign thy joy. Measure means in little bits, you know, in degrees. Gradually reign your joy. Don't come so suddenly to me, I'm getting overwhelmed. Scant thy excess. So much of joy. She doesn't feel any more joy about anything else in the world now because she knows her love has made the right choice and forever in her life she'll be staying with her love. So she's so elated, so thrilled. She's saying, but check yourself. I feel too much thy blessing, make it less, for fear I surfeit. I feel too much of your blessing, so please reduce it, or else it will be so much in excess that it will be surfeited. Surfeited means it will overflow, it cannot be controlled anymore. Bassanio doesn't know what is going on in Portia's mind. Bassanio opens the casket and says, what find I here? And he opens the little casket and says, fair Portia's counterfeit. You know, he says it more for the audience to realize. Fair Portia's counterfeit. Counterfeit is the photograph, you know, a replica, okay, of fair Portia. And now you see, when Bassanio looks at the portrait, you know, first he admires the portrait and then he admires Portia. So both the objects are things of admiration. Of course, real Portia is, but the portrait is also beautiful. So first thing he does is he praises the artist. He says, what demigod had come so near creation? God has created Portia with perfection. But some demigod, okay, semi-god, God in human form, has come very near perfection. Appreciation for the artist. The artist has made a portrait which is very close to the real Portia. So a demigod has come so near perfection. Move these eyes. Only difference is that there the picture is still, the eyes don't move. But Bassanio imagines, are these eyes moving in the portrait? No. Or whether riding on balls of mind seem they in motion. The portrait is so real it seems even the eyes are moving. But then he realizes, no, the eyes are not moving. But because my eyes are moving from one to one, so riding on my eyes, Portia's eyeballs are also moving. Here are severed lips. You know, in the portrait, the lips are a little parted. So severed means parted, separated, okay, broken up. Parted lips, parted with sugar breath. You know, he imagines that the breath coming out through that opening of those beautiful lips must be sugar breath, sweet breath. So sweet a barge who sunders a sweet friend. Sunder is separate. S-U-N-D-E-R. Sunder is separate. So such sweet barrier, sweet breath, parting such sweet friends. Lips are beautiful and the breath in between is also sweet. Here in her ears, the painter plays the spider. Look at her hair, as if the painter has created a mesh cobweb, okay, and had woven a golden mesh to entrap the hearts of men. Golden hair of Portia. Portia was a blonde, you know, golden hair and fair girl. So it seems as if the painter has, like a spider, he has created a mesh, a cobweb. Why? To entrap the hearts of men. The hearts of men will get entrapped in the hair of Portia's portrait. Faster than gnats and cobwebs. Gnats are small insects. You see, gnats get drawn to the cobwebs and then the spider preys on them. So similarly, it seems the hearts of men will get attracted by the hair of Portia faster than the gnats. But her eyes, how could he see to do them? Now he is imagining, how could the painter look at Portia's eyes and still take away his eyes and paint the portrait? You know, her eyes are so attractive that once somebody looks at her eyes, will keep looking at her. So how could the painter look at her eyes to draw the portrait and still draw the portrait? He should have been attracted by the eyes and stopped there looking at her eyes. Having made one, methinks it should have had the power to steal both his. After drawing one eye of Portia, that one eye of Portia has the power to draw both the eyes of the painter, and the painter should have left the picture unfinished. Yet look how far the substance of my praise doth wrong this shadow. But then he looks at Portia and says, substance of my praise, substance means the real material of my praise, is far superior than the shadow. Shadow is the portrait. The portrait is beautiful, but the substance of the portrait is more beautiful. Okay? In underpricing it. So the portrait now is underpriced. First he praises the portrait, and to show how far superior Portia is in her beauty, he says, now when I look at her, the portrait seems to be of no use. So far this shadow doth limp behind the substance. Though the portrait is so beautiful, but compared to the substance, it is only limping behind. Here is the scroll. Now every casket had a scroll. The content and summary of my fortune. There is a scroll there. And what is written there? You that choose not by the view, chance is fair and choose is true. You are the one who have chosen not by outward look. You have chosen truly. Since this fortune falls to you, be content and seek no good. Now this is your fortune. Your fortune is you have got Portia. And once you have got Portia, don't look for any other woman. Don't betray her. Okay? If you be well pleased with this and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn you where your lady is and claim her with a loving kiss. If you are happy with your selection and what the selection has given to you, because remember the casket says you have to hazard all you have. So you have one Portia, now you have to keep everything at stake for Portia. And if you are happy with that, claim your lady with a kiss. Okay? It's a gentle scroll. Though the scroll actually threatens, you don't look for anybody new. You should be happy with whatever you have got, but Bassanio is happy with that scroll. Fair lady, by your leave. By your leave means with your permission. Why he wants her permission? To kiss her. Okay? That's the gesture of a man. Men are stronger than the women, but they should not show their strength on weaker people. That is called chivalry. So Bassanio, like a chivalrous person, says, may I have the permission to kiss you? Okay? I come by note to give and to receive, saying I have come to give my love and also to receive yours. Like one of two contending in a prize that thinks he hath done well in people's eyes, hearing applause and universal shout. He's saying, it is as if I have come in a competition. Okay? And when I hear people clapping all around you, because you see all others are very happy. So he's saying, I can hear people are applauding and I have realized that I have won a prize. But I'm feeling so giddy because I still cannot believe I really won the prize. So I'm still not realizing it is the truth. Giddy in spirit, still gazing in a doubt whether those peals of praise be his or no. I'm still feeling whether these are his or not. So thrice fair lady, stand I even so, as doubtful whether what I see be true, until confirmed sign gratified by. I'm still too overwhelmed to believe whether this is true or not. You have to tell me, yes, this is true. So you have to grant me. It has to be ratified and confirmed by you. I know I have won, but I'm still not sure. We will do till this much. Very soon you will get a question on this portion. Answer the question, that will be your task. Thank you, students. Stay there.